Hello friends, Shayla here, and I am here to quickly wrap up the reading month of June for you. I did do a wrap up through the first half of the month, so I will leave that linked for you guys to go ahead and check out. So quickly, I've got a couple of books and then a lot of manga to talk about. I have done a vlog that will encompass a lot of what I read over that period of time. So again, that will also be linked for you, and that's the one where I gauged how much time I spend reading. It was a really interesting experiment, and I hope you guys have enjoyed that. The glare is too much, so you're getting non-makeup Shay. So first up, I want to talk about Justified by Jay Crownover. This is the official book 1 in the Loveless Texas series. I loved and adored this. I gave it 5 stars. The Smexy scenes were great. There's a lot this book did right. Only a couple of gripes. So it's probably really more a 4.5, but all in all, I did really enjoy this. So in this, we're following Sheriff Case Lawton, and he's put in a situation where he has to protect the woman who was essentially, well, not essentially, she was representing his ex-wife during their divorce. And so her representing him was the reason why he lost custody of his kid. And it was just so well done. Their enemies to lover chemistry is amazing, and so much about this was done right. I really enjoyed it. The intrigue behind the scenes was just enough that it put her in protective custody, which meant they were around each other a lot, which led to the Smexy things, and it was great. Highly recommend checking this one out. And Aspen is her name. Aspen is great because she's independent enough and she doesn't want to rely on other people, but she's put in a situation where she's forced to rely on Case in a sense, and it works so well. Just trust me on this one. If you're into Texas style romances, he's not a true cowboy, but he's got cowboy aspects to him. He is the sheriff after all. So if you can handle that kind of a love story, this one is great. Not too many y'alls, not too many redneck things. It's just really well done. Next we have A Rogue by Night by Kelly Bowen. This is a great historical romance. I've read Kelly Bowen before and really liked it. So again, we're dealing with a baron, physician, smuggler kind of guy. And there's a girl whose brothers are into all sorts of trouble. And so she ends up patching them up all the time. And so he's immediately drawn to her. And it's lovely. It's great historical romance. Definitely check it out. Next we have Splintered by A.G. Howard, which is one that I didn't really love. I ended up giving this one 3 stars. This was saved from my Trash My TBR shelf, but it's going to get unhauled anyway because I've decided I'm not going to continue on in the series. I still like Howard's writing, but this particular story was a miss for me. It's an Alice in Wonderland reimagining, and it was just off the mark enough that I just can't get behind it. It wasn't necessarily the worst thing I've ever read, but I know I don't want to continue because I've heard it just goes downhill after this first book anyway, so I have no desire to continue. So this one's going to get unhauled, most likely donated to the library so that someone who's in the target demographic will probably enjoy it much better than me. And the last book for this wrap-up is Sherwood by Megan Spooner. This is a reimagining of the Robin Hood story. Robin went off to the Crusades and died, and Maid Marian's left behind with all the problems of what Robin was up to, and so she kind of steps into his place and becomes Robin. April and I talk about this in depth and in spoilers in the live show that we did, so I will leave that linked for you guys. But this one was a miss for me. I ended up giving it 3 stars. I really was hoping that it was going to be a truly gender-swapped Robin Hood story, where it would have been Robin, a woman, and her merry ladies. Like, that's what I was hoping for, not just a tiny spin on the original Robin Hood. And there are such characters as Sir Guy of Gisborne, so all I could see was Richard Armitage as I read this, and it was just a miss for me. It's not bad. I like Megan Spooner's writing enough that I want to pick up her other book, Hunted, but this one was just a miss for me on the story. Just the way Spooner chose to take the story was not my favorite. So that's all I'm going to say. If you want to know the spoilery things, check out the live show April and I did. So there was one graphic novel in the stack, and that is The Prince and the Dressmaker by Jen Wang. I finally got around to picking this one up I immediately consumed it. This is adorable. I thought it was really great about accepting people for who they are and what they are, no matter how they look to other people. It was beautifully done. I really enjoyed this. And the art style was absolutely lovely throughout. And this was one that I read much quicker than I thought I was going to, but I did genuinely enjoy it and will revisit this from time to time. I ended up giving this 4 stars, 4.5, somewhere in that realm. I really enjoyed it. It wasn't perfect to me, but I really enjoyed it. And I strongly suggest you guys pick this up. Jen Wang's art style is stunning to boot. I mean, come on. So it's lovely. Definitely check it out. All right, now on to the manga. All right, so real quick, I'm going to talk about the 3 volumes that all are one series. And that is My House Servant is Naughty and Cocky with Secrets. Thank you to Mama Loves Manga for pointing out this overly smutty manga to me. This is a very, very explicit manga about a older, like, I want to say she's 30, working woman who's too busy to, like, take care of her house and stuff. So she wants to hire a housemaid to kind of take care of those things and cook for her and stuff just because she's so busy with her job. What she doesn't realize is that the person she sent a contract to was actually a man and not a woman. But the man has a secret that I don't want to spoil for you, but it leads to lots of smexy things, and it's absolutely fantastic. It's trashier than trashy, but I don't even care. It was such a fun read. Highly recommend it if you like smutty manga or even smutty graphic novels. I think this is one that would be a win for you. So yes, that's what's going on there. And yes, it's like 5 chili peppers, spicy. It's really good. If you're in it for the smuts, that's one to go to. I read the next 3 volumes in Red River, which were volumes 8, 9, and 10 for me. I continue to really love and adore this series. This is a historical manga where a modern Japanese girl is transported back in time to the eras of like King Tut and the Hittite Empire. She's specifically transferred to the Hittite Empire to be a sacrifice for an evil queen, but her stepson, for all intents and purposes, ends up catching on to what she's up to and rescues our girl and falls in love with her, and it's all sorts of fun. So definitely check that one out. I didn't talk about it blatantly in the reading vlog that I did, but I did read the first volume of One Piece in that vlog, and I read it digitally through the Shonen Jump app, and I liked it pretty well. I mean, I really like Oda's art style, so I'm really interested to see how long I'll read it, if I'm honest. So I do plan on continuing to slowly read through One Piece because everybody and their dog talks about One Piece and I need to know what's going on. I have been watching it with my husband, but we're nowhere near current. We're not even 100 episodes into the anime, and I figure it might be faster for me to actually read it. So that's the route that I've chosen for the time being. So yes, that's that. Let's go ahead and move into the physical things that I read. So first up, I want to talk about Daytime Shooting Star Volume 1, which is a brand new Shoujo Beat title out through Viz Media. Viz was kind enough to send me an early copy of this to review for you guys. I do have a first impressions up for you, so I will leave that linked for you guys to check out. But this is an adorable high school romance about a girl her dad gets a job transfer out of the country. Mom decides to go with, so she moves in with her uncle in Tokyo, and her first day there, she thinks she sees a shooting star. She ends up passing out in a park. This stranger in a beanie essentially comes up to her, rescues her, takes her to her uncle, and ends up being somebody that she'll run into all the time. And there's a blushing tsundere-style co-student, like classmate. That's the word I was looking for. And it's really fun, really interesting. I really loved this first volume and will be keeping up with this publish. The other fun thing is this is the volume of manga picked for the Panels Book Club. Natalie over at Pages and Panels has invited me to come and help her with the Panels Book Club on the manga side of things. Daytime Shooting Star is our pick for July. So definitely pick it up and read it this month, and then join us for the live show, date and time to come. I haven't heard when that's happening. We haven't had a chance to talk about it because we've both been crazy. But definitely read it and come join us because This was fantastic. Highly recommend. I loved and adored this. Thanks again to my friends at Viz for sending this to me. Next, I read an entire series because I am a trash can and had a lot more time. So I read all of Twinkle Stars by Natsuki Takaya. This is the mangaka who does Fruits Basket. So a lot of the art feels very much like Fruits Basket, and this series had the aura of Fruits Basket. It deals with some dark family-related themes like Fruits Basket does, and I thought this was so well done. It was beautiful. I was crying by the end of this thing, and I really liked how she chose to end this because it distinctly made it different from Fruits Basket for me. And I loved that it was different, but it still gave me that same overall feeling that Fruits Basket did. So this was a huge win for me. I highly recommend the series. I am going to put out a trigger warning for suicide with this particular series and toxic family dynamics. So if those are things that are going to be super problematic to you, definitely pass on this series. But I think it's so beautiful and so well done. I do highly recommend the series as a whole. I finished another series because I am complete garbage. But anyways, I finished off Dengeki Daisy because I finally got all the volumes in. Laura was kind enough to send me volumes 10 and 15 earlier in the month, and then my order with the rest of the volumes finally came in. So I totally sat and binged the entire sucker. I have no regrets. I love Dengeki Daisy with all my heart and soul. This is an age gap romance where we're dealing with a girl who's lost her brother. He's died, and he hands off this cell phone to her shortly before he dies, and he says, whenever you're upset, text Daisy. And so she texts and messages Daisy, and Daisy helps her get through her grief and moving on in life. And she ends up in contact with Daisy in real life in a way, and we find that out pretty early in the series, so that's not a huge spoiler. But overall, this is fantastic. I don't want to tell you anymore because I'm glad I didn't know more going in. So go and read Dengeki Daisy. It was absolutely fantastic. All of these volumes got 5 stars. I have no regrets. It's a new shoujo love for me. Go read it. Another complete series. Who's Garbage? So this one is a much shorter series. This one's only 3 volumes, and that is Train Man. This Densha Otoko. Yes. By Hidenori Hara. There were several Train Man series that came out the same year. Laura sent this in her box of goodies to me, and this one was her favorite. I totally understand why. I was completely like cheering along with the side characters in the story, rooting for the main romance. This is a seinen manga, and it's basically a slice of life about a geeky guy who lives in online forums, who meets a girl on a train, ends up in a situation where he ends up rescuing her, and they start to connect. And he goes to this online forum for advice. It is cute and adorable. If you can track this down, I highly recommend you do because it was absolutely fantastic. Definitely check it out. Next we have Hatsuharu Volume 7 because I love Hatsuharu so much. This is a fantastic high school shoujo series in which we're following a male perspective he's kind of been a playboy. And what happens essentially in the first volume is this girl comes out of nowhere and punches him in the face because he hurt her best friend. And from there, he has eyes for no one but her. And it's fantastic. So much is going on in this series that is really good, and I love it. It's perfect. There's lots of blushing, lots of cute things. This is the epitome of adorable high school shoujo. This reminds me a lot of My Love Story, but in a different way, but it has that same kind of sweet tone to it. It's so well done. I love the art as well, so definitely check this one out. This is one that I stay current on the publish. It's fantastic. Next we have volumes 2 and 3 of Delicious in Dungeon. This is one that I have decided that I am actually not going to continue to collect. This is a fun video game style foodie manga where they're stuck in a dungeon and they have to eat the demons and not die, essentially. So they're going back to save somebody, and that's what's going on with all of that. It's fun. I didn't hate it, but I don't love it enough to continue to collect it. So this is the end of Delicious in Dungeon on this channel. I'm sorry if that breaks your heart, but I did give it an honest try at 3 volumes, and I really enjoyed the first volume, but 2 and 3 were just kind of meh for me. If I'm going to go back to a foodie manga, I'm going to revisit Sweetness and Lightning, so there we are. Next we have volumes 1 and 2 of Sailor Moon Eternal Editions. I am currently filming a vlog project where I talk about Sailor Moon and my experience reading it for the first time as a grown 33-year-old woman. And so I'm not going to tell you my thoughts about this right now because of that. Today I had the other 3 Eternal editions show up, so I will be continuing that. Once I reach the end of volume 5 of the Eternal editions, I'm going to see if I can find it at a library or through a friend to read the rest of the series so you guys aren't waiting years for me to finish this project. So you guys can get my thoughts on Sailor Moon. That's one of my behind the scenes projects right now, so know that my thoughts on Sailor Moon will be coming soon. And then last but not least for this wrap up is Cardcaptor Sakura, the Collector's Edition, Volume 1. Now, I had read a pocket edition of Cardcaptor Sakura early on in my manga reading experiences, and I didn't really love it, if I'm honest. But all my friends are like, try it again, try it again, try it again, now that I've been reading manga longer. And I have to say, on second read and in this edition, I really loved what I read. I think Cardcaptor Sakura is a great series. I understand why everybody loves it now. It makes sense to me. I will be continuing to collect these and read as I go along. I will not be documenting this journey like I'm documenting Sailor Moon, just because these are just barely starting to publish. Where with Sailor Moon I had half of it out. So anyways, that's what's going on with that. But I am really enjoying Cardcaptor Sakura and will be continuing to read it. So friends, that is it for the second half of my reading month in the month of June. Again, if you want to know the first half of the month or more details on anything that I've read, things will be linked up there and down there for you, so definitely go and check those out. Thank you guys again so much for watching and continuing to support the channel. I love and adore each and every one of you. Also, just a quick reminder that I do have a Discord server if you ever want to come and just chat and hang out. I have an Ask Shayla section, I have an Instagram help section, all sorts of things like that. So definitely come and check things out, and I'm happy to hang with all y'all, and thanks to those who are on the Discord server. We have a great time. So thanks again for watching. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.